Welcome, everyone. In this explainer, we're going to break down how businesses can take all that raw data they're sitting on and turn it into a real secret weapon for making smarter decisions. We're talking about going from a jumble of numbers on a screen to a genuine competitive edge.
So, here's how we're going to tackle this. We'll kick things off by figuring out how to ask the right questions. Then, we'll put on our detective hats to find and, actually see the hidden connections in our data. From there, we'll test our ideas to make sure they're solid, and to wrap it all up, we'll see how AI can supercharge this whole process.
So let's start with a classic question. Does throwing more money at marketing always mean you'll get more sales? I mean, your gut feeling probably screams, yes, of course it does. But, going with your gut can be a really expensive mistake. The real answer is hiding in the data, and we're about to go find it.
And that leads us to the most critical part, really, the foundation of everything. See, data is useless if you don't ask it the right things. The goal here is to take that fuzzy feeling of, I wonder if, and turn it into a crystal clear question that the numbers can actually tackle.
Okay, so to ask a good question, you need the right building blocks. In the world of data, we call these variables. And really, that's just a fancy word for anything you can measure or count that can change. The real magic isn't in the variables themselves, but in seeing how they interact, how they dance with each other.
So back to our marketing example. We've got two main variables in play. First up is marketing spend. That's the thing we have control over, right? It's the cause, so we call that the independent variable. And then there's sales revenue. That's the outcome, the effect we're hoping to see. That makes it the dependent variable, because it depends on what we do with our marketing.
But just naming your variables, that's only step one. The real game changer is finding the invisible threads that tie them together. I mean, this is the exact moment when data stops being just a history book and starts becoming a crystal ball. And why is this so important? Honestly, it's like gaining a superpower for your business. All of a sudden, you're not just guessing anymore. You can make way more accurate predictions. You can spot those golden opportunities that nobody else sees. And you can dodge problems before they even become problems. It's huge. Okay, so that's all great, but how do you actually know if a relationship is even there? Well, the first thing you need to do, and this is key, is to stop looking at endless spreadsheets. Seriously, it's time to start looking at pictures. And for this job, your best friend is one of the simplest yet most powerful tools out there, the scatter plot. Just think of it like this. It takes all that chaotic data and makes it make sense. It turns thousands of numbers into one single picture that can tell you a story at a glance.
And here's exactly what we're talking about. The goal is simple. You put all your data points on a graph. Marketing spend on the bottom, sales on the side, and then you just look. Do you see a pattern? Are the dots generally moving up and to the right? If they are, boom! That's your first major clue that there's a connection.
All right, so seeing a pattern is a great start. It really is. But if you're going to bet the company's money on it, you have to be sure it's not just a fluke, right? You need to graduate from I think this is happening to I know this is happening.
And this is where we bring in a little bit of math to back up what our eyes are telling us. It's a pretty straightforward three-step deal. First, you just state your hypothesis, basically your educated guess. Second, you run a quick statistical test, like a correlation or regression, to put some numbers on it. And finally, you look at the results to see if the connection is statistically significant, which is just a fancy way of saying it's almost certainly not a coincidence.
Okay, so once you've got the hang of finding and testing these relationships, you might be thinking, what's next? Well, now it's time to level up. We're going to bring in a heavy hitter to take all of this to the next level, AI.
And the difference here is, it's night and day. Doing this stuff the old way is slow, it's manual, and you can really only look at a couple of things at once. But with AI, it's automated, it's lightning fast, and it can sift through thousands of variables to find those deep, hidden connections that, frankly, a human would never, ever spot.
And the best part? You don't have to be some data science genius to use this stuff anymore. There are so many amazing tools out there now. If you're into coding, you've got things like Python libraries. If you're not, there are incredible AutoML platforms that do all the complicated math for you. They do the heavy lifting so you can focus on what actually matters. What do these insights mean for my business?
So what's the end result of all this work? Simple. It's a massive competitive advantage. When you use these tools, you're not just playing the same game as everyone else. You're building a smarter, faster decision-making engine that can really help you pull ahead of the pack. So, we walked through a marketing and sales example today, but this exact same playbook, ask, visualize, test, and amplify, can be used for anything. So I'll leave you with this question. Think about your own world, your own business.
What hidden relationship, just sitting there in the data, could completely change everything for you?